everyone. Today I've got a couple plants that need to be repotted, and I thought, since I haven't really done too many of them, I thought I'd bring you along with me so I can, while I repot them. I'll just show you as we go. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I'll just show you as I go. So I picked up this money tree, or this Pachira Aquatica. Picked this up from one of the big box stores, and it was $5.98. Something like that, $5.98. So I thought, why not give it a shot? It is really top heavy. It keeps tipping over. So I'm assuming that I should probably get it out of this 4-inch pot that I've got it in. And I did have one of these last year, and I didn't know how to take care of it. I believe now I have a better grasp on it since I'm been doing plant mom stuff for a couple years now. So I thought I'd take you along. I have this, I'm gonna move it from a 4-inch to a 6-inch pot, and I'm keeping it in terracotta. I don't know if there's a reason for it or not, but that's what I'm keeping mine in. And I have my soil right here, and this soil is Coco Coir, perlite, and orchid bark. And I get the Coco Coir in the bricks, and I'll have it labeled. I'll have it linked underneath in the description in case you want to buy some. But I like it because for me, it's very cost effective, and my plants seem to love it. So let's open this up. Okay, the roots aren't so bad. See all the brown? Yep, it's dry, or getting on the dry side, so I'm just going to pot it up. I am not going to mess with the roots at all because that's just how I like to pot things up. Most of the time I like to just leave the root ball as it is if the plant doesn't seem to be showing any signs of anything. All right. Right about there. And then I'm just going to fill her in. I'm going to put you down here. Hopefully I have enough soil made. Give it some taps to make sure there isn't any air pockets. Now I've read on this plant that you let the soil dry out in between watering. Otherwise, these tuberous stems, they could rot. So rather underwater it. A little bit more. And I try to keep it at the same level the soil was in the pot to begin with, so that way it won't rot on the stems since it's already used to that particular soil level. Then what I do is I use a systemic on all of my plants. It helps with fungus gnats and other miscellaneous pests. And all I do is, it's the Bonide Systemic, and I'll link it underneath below. But this I basically just got this right here from the Dollar Tree, snipped off the top a little bit, and then you just sprinkle it on, and I think it lasts for like 4 months. But it is a poison, so make sure you keep it away from kids or pets. Then you just kind of mix it in a little bit. There we go. And this is, oops, this is my new money tree. And here is the Pachira Aquatica, or the money tree. And I plan on keeping this in my plant room where there's humidity. And right now the humidity is 65. I did make my office into my plant room, and one of these days maybe I'll give you a tour. But I keep the plant room about 60 degrees, 65 degrees humidity with a humidifier. And my big bay window, my big sliding window right here, that is a west facing window. And on top of that, I do have, because I live in the northern hemisphere and it's winter, I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I have a bunch of grow lights on in here. So I'm thinking that it's gonna like it, and I will give you updates. So let's get to the next one. Next plant, this next plant I got some cuttings of right before I got laid off of work from one of the girls' plants in the office. And this is it was a huge ficus Benjamin tree. Just huge. It looked like a big old weeping willow tree. So I decided to see if I could root it. And it's rooting pretty good in water. Here, I'll show you. Yep. It's rooting pretty good in water. So I figured I'm gonna plant these guys up, and then it's gonna live in my greenhouse. And yeah, we'll see how this Benjamina tree goes. Ficus Benjamin tree goes. So this plant I am going to keep in my greenhouse. So this plant I'm going to keep in my greenhouse because of the steady humidity, and just see how it grows in there. But I've got like 5 or 6, well, maybe not, maybe more than that. 8 leaves, 8 stems. We'll put it in there. Add some soil. And I fully expect to lose some leaves off of this because it's a ficus, and ficus really don't like me too well. But just because I've played with the roots a little, and it's changing from water to, or from water to soil. And every time I water my plants, I use one of these moisture meters every single time, and I use Super Thrive every single time. And it doesn't take a lot of Super Thrive either, but just a little bit. And boy, can my plants, boy, do my plants show me a difference on their growth. So I am going to actually water with some of the water that it's been in there, that it has already been sitting in. And there was Super Thrive in that water. So I'm just going to water it in really well. Water it in really well, and then I'm going to put it in my greenhouse. And once again, I will be putting some of that, might as well do it right now, some of my systemic. There you go. And then just water it in really good again. All right, and we'll set that one aside. I'll be back for some more. The next plant I am going to repot I got from the one and the only Reb, aka Plantastica. Yay! And she gave me cuttings. This was back August of this year. August. Where did that time go? And before, I needed to have this stick in there because the cuttings were flopping all over the place. So I don't need that anymore. But look at these roots. These love living in moss. So I'm going to take it out of moss and I'm going to plant it up in a pot like this. But I'm going to leave some of the moss on it because if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I can tell that it's needing, see how some of the yellow leaves are starting to yellow a little bit? It needs a little bit more nourishment than what the moss is giving it. So we'll put it in some moss and see how it goes. So let me aim you down. It is all root bound. Yeah. First of all, I love these pots so you can see how damp the moss is and how the roots are. So I totally love that. But look at these. So I am going to keep a lot of this moss, but I am going to kind of open up some of these roots just a little bit. Especially the ones on the bottom here. Yeah. You're free. But I'm going to make sure that the ones in here know that they can breathe again too. But adansonaii, I love them. This plant, especially the wide form, it just makes me happy. It just totally makes me happy, especially the wide form of it. And I don't know, just don't have any more words. Except for thank you, Reb. All right. All right, so I'm going to get my pot. And I'm going to put some soil in it. Like I said, I'm leaving a lot of this on because they were growing in moss, and it didn't seem to have a problem with it, but I just wanted to give it some more substance. And if it was doing really great in moss, the last thing I want to do is interrupt everything, you know. Because as it stands, we kind of already, I really kind of messed with the root system already. And every time I water, I always use my moisture meter, which some people like, some people don't, but for me, it's the only thing that have saved me from killing plants. So if you're having issues, I would totally suggest getting a moisture meter. All right. Get this out of the way. What do you guys think? She's all potted up. I'm gonna water her with some Super Thrive. And I think she's gonna be great. Not that she wasn't before, but she's really gonna thrive. And look, there's already new growth right here. There's a couple new growths. This was living in my greenhouse for a little while until I just took it out. Oh, and then if you look right in through here, look, there's new growth right here and a new leaf right here. Well, yeah, that's my adansonaii large or wide form, and I am in love with it. Thank you very much, Reb. I love her, and I think she's doing pretty darn good, especially with all those roots are crazy. Okay, everyone, and the last plant I think I have to repot today is this Sansevieria Baby that I got. I know it's a Dracaena, but it's always going to be Sansevieria. But look at the coloration. And look, it even has a little baby coming off of it. So yeah, it has a couple leaves that have seen better days. But I got this at a big box store too. And I am going to take it out of the substrate it's in right now, and I'm going to put it into my mixture. So, oh, well, let's see how it doesn't have any roots. Guess it's going to stay in the same pot. What a bummer. Look at. All right, well, it's going to stay in the same pot. I am just going to put it in my own soil mix. Here, I'll aim you down for this one. Kind of a bummer, it didn't have many roots on it at all, but it's okay. It will. And now that it's out of this, it was in like this all peaty type of thing. It didn't have any perlite in it or anything. And I put mine, now she's going to be living in cactus succulent soil, some perlite, a little bit of orchid bark. And all my other plants that I've got in this seem to like this mix. So this is what, see how it had zero, it didn't have any perlite in it or anything. It was just, yeah. So now it's in a different mix. It's got perlite, like I said, orchid bark. Hopefully the baby will produce. It's probably why some of the tips were browning off the way it is. But let's save it now. So there's new growth coming on the inside of it. So that's good. Well, thank you for repotting with me and hanging out with me while I do so. It makes things go by a little quicker. Have you repotted anything lately? Normally, I like to wait until spring, but you know, in those couple cases, especially this one, on how root bound it was and how I could tell that the leaves were starting to yellow, it was time for me to check the roots and get it into a different plant or different soil. As well as the money tree, because that money tree, the money tree was so heavy that it was starting to always get knocked down every time I moved it. So now it's in the correct soil and we should be good to go. All right, thank you so much everybody for hanging out with me. I hope you have a great day. Keep smiling, and no matter what, just be kind to people. Just be nice, please. Just be nice. All right, bye you guys.